Seems like no matter what I do, these things are cross-eyed. Oh well. This one's called Is Enlightenment Costly? Like a Fancy Painting. It's the third one from March 5th, written at 8:35 a.m. People talk a lot about the price you pay to become enlightened, the supposed high price, this giving up of everything you knew and loved and all that stuff. I'm really not so sure about that. Maybe I look at it a bit differently. Not that I'm enlightened, mind you. I'm not with Jed McKenna on claiming that. I may be a little way higher up on the mountain or something, but enlightened? I'm clueless about that. Okay, so much for the disclaimer. Now, back to that price thing. It's really a lot like Eckhart Tolle says in his simple teaching. You aren't the dancer, you're the dance. Spirit, source, God, whatever, is doing the dancing, and you are the dance she's doing. Make sense? It's an interesting way to look at it anyway, and it helps. That's my criteria. Does the new perspective help? Does it shift my consciousness, my awareness, in a way that feels good? Okay, I know I used a lot of trigger words there, or amorphous words to the scientists among us. Whatever. One does one's best. I'll try again. It's not like you're really doing anything. After a while, and you don't generally notice this coming on, but after a while, you notice that you're just kind of flowing. You're really not deciding in the old way by playing games in your head. Instead, you've plugged into heart, and you find it's doing the leading, if you will, and maybe you're just following. No, that's not right either. To lead and to follow requires two, and you're just one. You really sense that oneness too. It's neat, as I'm sure most everyone knows. Most of us have had at least a few moments of this experience to call on, to remember the feel of it. I talk a lot about feelings. Oh boy, I got lost here. I talk a lot about feelings. They're way more important than thoughts. Thoughts are good and all, but they've gotten way out of hand, and we've lost ourselves in the midst of them. We've become the thoughts, the thinking mind, and that's not really who and what we are at all. We've been misled into this, but it is what it is, so there's no use trying to sugarcoat it. Intuition is not built on thought. If anything, it's built on feeling. I think it's really one, and trying to separate oneself out like this is kind of pointless if we take the long view, because we'll just have to put the self back together again into the oneness it really is. But it can be helpful for a time to look at the self as if it were in parts, thinking, feeling, physicality, and so on. What we've done is let society get away with us, with taking us all so firmly up into the head that we've lost track of the essence, the soul, the heart, or inner sense of who we really are. Then they come up with all these books and videos, so many selling their own little version of how to fix that, as if it could be fixed somehow. It can't. You will never attain enlightenment or wake up by staying in your head. It ain't happening. Never will. I know. I tried really hard. I've got the 4 degrees to prove how hard-headed I was about it, too. I don't care if you study philosophy or comparative religion or logic or whatever else you may think is just right on and will get you there. It won't. I promise. At least it didn't for me. It's a hard thing. Or, if you don't like that, It's an inner thing then. Go to your center. Live from there. Make it a habit to center down every time you think of it. I placed little Buddha statues and such things all around my house in the different rooms, just to help remind me to center down. Just that. Not that I love Buddha or follow that path in particular or anything. Just little reminders to be aware, to be present, to center down, to wake up. It works too. Use anything that has some sort of special sense for you. I use crystals too, placed here and there. I found the little statues worked better though. It helps when something's looking back at you. It's whatever works for you though. Heck, it could be screwdrivers for heaven's sake. Anything that's a bit out of place that will get your attention. Make you stop for a millisecond. In that pause, you can train yourself to center down. That's it. Then, just try living from there. Every time you come on one of your little reminders, you will either be in heart or you won't. You'll know right away. Don't be surprised at first if you go days and days without remembering. It happens, and it's no big deal. If you set your intent to be centered and aware, it will happen. Just be at peace with that. See you next time.